What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Going the Distance MMA. We know it has been a while. Me and CJ both have got a new job dynamic going on, which has made it a little bit harder to record. We had to take a couple weeks to figure out how we're going to make this work. The new plan going forward will be to do one video a week on a non-UFC card, primarily. If it's only UFC, we'll do UFC. Try to get that out on Wednesday night or Thursday night, and we'll just do that one a week going forward, see how we manage it, and we'll move from there. Today we have LFA. We got a Friday night card here. Should be a good one. This is LFA 229 Martins versus Gonçalves. This should be a pretty good card. It is in Brazil. Should be wild as all LFA Brazil cards are. But it is something to look forward to, something to break down, and it is good to be back with you guys. CJ, any thoughts on this card?
Yeah, LFA Brazil cards are historically super viable. Some solid enough prospects, especially in the main event. People who I look forward to watching fight. I think the main card's solid. And just looking forward to it. MMA on a Friday night never hurt anybody.
Amen to that. So we'll just be doing the main card here. I believe it's 7 fights. My count might be off. That's a number off the top of my head here. But starting off, we have Diego Bianchini versus Yuri Neles. This fight right here seems a little bit one-sided to me. Diego Bianchini minus 700 last I checked. Yuri Neles plus 500. Bianchini, he is a fighting nerd, which certainly probably plays into the odds here. 9-2, I would say. I would say he is a prospect. I just think he's kind of hit a rough patch as of recently. He's been fighting some pretty good fighters. Which can be said about his opponent, who is not a prospect in any sense of the word. Diego has lost two of his last three, not including a Ultimate Fighter loss. I would say that he has trouble with some opponents, but those opponents are of a much higher caliber that he will be seeing on Friday night. He's never been finished. Super dangerous grappler, very athletic. And if he owns some of those striking skills and just kind of addresses those weak spots he's seen in his last few fights, got the cardio, got the wrestling, he should be good. Yuri Nellis on the other side, he is 12-10, so really like journeyman if you want to be nice to him. All in Met promotions. There's a little Shuto Brazil in there. Mixed results. Mixed results against really low level opponents. He has lost his last three. One of those opponents was like 11-10, so like just yuck. You can say he's a regional Brazilian journeyman. I think Diego's had a couple of losses. I think this is a bounce back fight for him, kind of a layup. I wouldn't expect him to have any problem. My prediction here would be a very early sub for Diego. Not really bettable anywhere, so I would just watch it and get ready to watch the land go to slaughter. But that's what I think. How about you?
Yeah, we're going to do this fight pretty quick. I think Diego all day, fighting nerd. Striking's definitely a work in progress, but he can strike enough to get into takedowns. He has some solid wins, one of them being over Wellington Lopez, where he looked really good. Wellington Lopez is pretty solid. Also was that nasty triangle armbar set up against Marsha Rolopov, I believe, the Russian, who he subbed a couple fights ago. Like right off of the takedown, he's attacking stuff. He never really settles on bottom. And then Neles, on the other hand, is just like a big dude, long for the division. But like you said, that loss to the 11-10 guy, like, just isn't a great look. He seems super hit or miss. He's there to get hit. He can be finished. And it seems like he can grapple, but also can get grappled himself. And he's just fought way worse guys than Diego. So I don't really know how he wins this fight, right? Maybe if he catches Diego with something, it's MMA, but I doubt it. I think Diego could stay on top, stay safe, and finds a sub at some point. So I agree with you.
Seems like we are on the same page there. Up next, we have at 125 Bianca Basilio, who is pretty touted grappler, fighting Rafael Guedes. What do you think here?
Yeah, so I think Basilio, I'm pulling up the lines. Yeah, minus 1,000, like I expected. Grappler had that not much tape on her. She had that really quick sub against Jessica Oliveira, but she has that good grappling base. Her picture on Tapology is her literally in a gi, so usually they come from some sort of grappling base, some sort of high level grappling base, and yeah, like active guard, really good submissions. A ton like grappled Mosquita, who's in the UFC now in ADCC, like went against some really good girls in ADCC, and her opponent, sorry, Rafa on the other hand, I don't know, like is another one that's only 2-0, hasn't doesn't have much seasoning, doesn't have much experience, but it also seems like she's willing to exchange in grappling also, and I just don't see how she has any success there. That early KO against Dos Santos, a minute into the second round, is like all right, but again, another 0-0 girl, like she hasn't fought the highest level of competition. So yeah, I think the favorite's fine here. She should roll, but I mean, obviously, you don't want to play minus 1,000. Oh, what about you?
Agreed. Bianca, only 1-0. She fought an LFA against that girl who's 1-0 you mentioned, Jessica Oliveira. Very decorated grappler. Gi champ, no gi champ, Pan Am champ, Brazilian champ, Abu Dhabi champ, like freak grappler. Did lose to B Mosquito, I did see, but really, really good grappling. Some of the best you'll see at the women's level in LFA, like period. Rafael Guedes, 2-0 on small regional promotions. She's a finisher, has a KO, has a sub as you mentioned, which is a good look. Has one amateur fight which also is a sub. So 3 fights on record, all finishes. You can't hate it, but she's going up against someone who's such a credited grappler who has in academic view of like martial arts in a way that like this girl won't even comprehend. So I think the first time that it gets into like even remotely near a clinch or take down anything, I think it's over. I do think an early sub here for Bianca, nothing you'd want to play. So not bettable for me. But you'd think Bianca round one sub, I think. Um, Up next, we have featherweight. This is gonna be a fun one. This is Renan Freitas versus Leandro Solano. Renan Freitas, he is 8-3. Won two of his last four. This is his LFA debut. Won all three ways, mostly by knockout. Has been finished in all of his losses. He is fairly long for the division. He's got some good wrestling, good some control I saw in the Wallace dos Santos fight. He looks pretty comfortable on the feet too, like well-rounded, fast, slick hands, good distance management when he's up there. He can be a little bit hittable on the back foot. Like if you can get him against the fence, he can be a little bit hittable. And excuse me, in one recent loss, he got caught taking like what felt like a pretty uneducated takedown shot from very far away and got caught in a front choke. So um, I have seen some things that make me somewhat apprehensive, but seems like someone who's got a great gas tank, there to fight, well-rounded, can wrestle, can control, can play that game, can strike, good, solid defensively on the feet, just can get backed up, but solid defensively. On the other side, you got Leandro Solano. He's 7-1, 0-1 in the LFA, lost by knockout. Since then, he's had a 4-fight win streak. He has won all three ways, mostly by knockout as well. This is a guy who seems like he needs the takedown. The only fight I watched him was his last LFA fight, and in that fight, he tried to get the takedown like meticulously, didn't get it, was kind of lost when he didn't get it. He was taking a lot of shots against the cage, kind of running out of gas. Ended up either doctor stoppage or he retired. I couldn't really tell from the clip, but it seems like he's kind of takedown or bust. If he can impose his will, it's good, but he needs a takedown. Not even that dangerous in the clinch. Like I don't worry about Renan Freitas against the cage in a striking affair here because it's really gonna be just takedown or bust, like crotch sniffing, waist grabbing, takedown or bust. Like I said, not much danger on the feet here from Solano. And also like have to mention like fought absolute cans since leaving the LFA. His last one was pretty good, but the three prior like absolute cans. So here this is gonna be like my only real play of the card here. I'm on Freitas money line. I'm predicting a round two knockout. I think his money line is a great play here. That will be my only play here. This is Owen call of the week. Freitas dog money line. What do you think?
Calculated it perfectly, so I don't want to just say the same thing over again, but just kind of add on a little bit. Solano, I think, is really takedown or bust here. And like you said, just the level of competition. The guy, I don't have his name in front of me, but the guy who knocked him out, Pedro something, he's undefeated still, good fighter out of LFA. But yeah, or didn't knock him out, got the stoppage. I think it looks like he kind of I don't want to say quit, but it looked like he no moss in the corner after the first, right? Where he really sold out for the takedown, wasn't really to have any grappling success, and then didn't really have a backup plan. Like there was no word where he was gonna strike. And then the fight after he rebounded against Carlos Matos, who's like 2-1, and he just like got a takedown over and over and smashed him on the ground. Like whatever, he's gonna do that. And then Renan Baptistas, who's like 10-10, again, he ground and pound, finished him in 40 seconds. Like, how much do you really learn from that? Obviously, he's dangerous if he gets on top, but again, he's smashing these lower level guys when he gets on top. So of course he did. Of course he could do that. But Fritas, on the other hand, I think you said it perfectly. Like really long, a ton of quick finishes. He's a shoot to box guy, which I historically really like those guys, especially against other grapplers. They usually have a solid enough takedown or get up game, but also really nasty, like low kicks, solid striking. He's got good boxing. I don't even think this is remotely competitive at kickboxing range. I agree with you. I took Fritas also. I think Fritas finds the mark and puts him away at some point.
Nice. Both on an underdog. Love to see it. Moderate underdog, but love to see it. Up next, we have at 155 at lightweight, we have Juliana Crescendo versus Homayun Tuktamuradov. That's pretty good. Tuktamuradov, we're going to call him. This should be a good one. Crescendo is plus 125. Tuktamuradov minus 145. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess we'll start on the Tuke Muradov side. This dude's pretty good. I know his record, like 14 and 5 is a good record, but he's been finished in 4 of his 5 losses. Um, which you don't love, but a lot of those fights were a long time ago. He like reeks one of these guys that will make it to the UFC and maybe not have the cleanest record, but he'll be someone who no one wants to fight. You know, I'm trying to think of someone off the top of my head, like Michel Pereira back in the day before he became washed overnight, where he had like 11 losses, right, but had won like 7 straight in the UFC. Some guys just seem to bloom late, but yeah, this guy's good, man. Um, Slick striking, good boxing, really good front choke setups. Has won every single way. Like will attack things, has nasty ground and pound, good power, a ton of like sub a minute finishes, which are good. Like I know it's not maybe the highest level of competition, but he's killing these guys, getting them out of there quickly. I want to pull up the line real quick because I haven't checked that in a long time.
Minus 145 for Tuktamuradov.
Yeah, yeah, they got him minus 120 now on Bet Online. It seems like money's going the other way, which I don't really see. I think he's very dangerous, like good power, like I said, good dark stroke setups, but also has gone deep into fights. So you know he's not a complete gasser. Even though it's only been once, you've seen it. You know, you've seen him get out of the first. He's still dangerous in the second, which you love. And then Giuliano, on the other hand, I think he needs grappling here, which like I don't think will be the easiest thing ever. Like I think in a lot of his fights, he has a ton of success on top time, and when he's not able to get top time, I think he struggles. Um, the Samuel Diaz fight, his last, he looked pretty good. I mean, Samuel Diaz isn't horrible. And then the fight before that, he TKO'd a guy in the first round who was 17-10, which like how much stock do you put into this? You know, but I think the Samuel Diaz fight was good, was a good win. He's been to decision also, so he's got good cardio. I think this is a close fight, but I just think Tuca over um 3 rounds is just a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more polished on the feet. I think he has more ways to win. So I'd probably pick him, but I don't love a side here. I think I could see it going either way. What about you?
I don't love a side either. What I'll say for Tuktamuradov, 14 and 5, huge win streak. I think it was 10, if I
Mm-hmm.
looked correctly. As mentioned, all losses early in the career. He is a finisher. Lost all 3 ways. Long and lean, athletic, powerful. Um, I didn't watch a lot of MMA tape for him, but I did see like a mixed boxing fight where like his hands looked really sharp, really powerful. Like one flush right and it was over. He was fighting like a little gnome, but it was still impressive. Um, what I will say is like the competition, the level of competition really didn't impress me. Like, if I'm not mistaken, like I was really not into it when I saw the level of competition. If we're looking at some of these guys, you've got 30 and 25, 1 and 2, 3 and 5, 1 and 2, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. So I wasn't impressed. Um, and I think that maybe some stock could be because of, what part of the world he's from. He's got Boers in his name. He looks like Hamzat. He's got the OV. Um, but he looked good in the tape I saw. I'm not impressed with who he's doing it to. Crescendo on the other side, he's 11 and 3, 1 and 1 in LFA, won all 3 ways. Never been KO'd, which I do like here. He's on a 2 fight win streak. He looks good on the feet. I like how he looked defensively on the feet. In the fight I watched. He looked pretty measured, which I liked. He showed a little bit of takedown defense. He had some takedowns and controls himself. He had solid 3 round cardio. So it seems to me like a guy who's kind of serviceable everywhere, got some good cardio. The striking defense stood out to me as one of his better attributes, and I like that here. I don't think I like this enough to bet purely because I couldn't see a lot of good MMA tape on Tukta. I'm just betting based off of, or I'm just guessing based off of the record. But judging off of who he's in fighting, I'm gonna have to side with Crescendo here. I'm not going to bet it. This is not like Owen's bet of the week. That's Fright House. I'm not going to take it. But my prediction is Crescendo just because I haven't seen enough from Tukta, and against that level of comp, I just can't get there. So I am going to go against you on this one. Doesn't happen often. Not put my money on it, but I am going to lean the other way here. Nonetheless, should be a good fight.
He goes all three, or I don't know what Tukta, man. It's just like weird to get. It's hard to get a read on because he is dangerous, but I mean, is he the most? when the shots are coming back. I don't know. It's
I
tough.
think I think if it gets out of the first half round, it's going all three.
Okay,
I think if it gets, I think the longer goes, the more it favors crescendo. Uh,
100%. Yeah.
so, I mean, well, what I have written down. I didn't have a way to win. I would say crescendo decision if you wanted to get crazy, but crescendo. That would be the play.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dog money too.
yeah. Up next, we have at 135 Vinicius Pires versus Toan Ribeiro. Pires minus 700, Ribeiro plus 500. For Pires here, it's a similar record, but you'll see why the line is what it is. Pires 11-2, 5-1 in LFA. He did lose his last fight, and he did lose one fight very early on. Wins by submission and decision. And I would say like fought and beat some really good guys. Really impressive grappling. His one recent loss was by decision. Submitted earlier in his career, so I was impressed with what I saw. Talon Ribeiro, 9-2, much less impressive comp. Submission or bust kind of guy. Both guys rely heavily on the grappling, but I wouldn't say Vinicius is submission or bust. I would say Tawan is submission or bust. 4 fight sub streak, as mentioned. Loses by submission and decision, sort of the same deal. Not much tape available here. This is not a fight I'd bet. It's just the line makes it just I'm not interested. I could see this happening like grappler versus grappler. I could see this going late. So like my crazy prediction would be a Pires decision. He doesn't get the finish, but I wouldn't bet this. I would just watch it. Pires takes it probably pretty easily. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm actually really high on Vinny Perez. I thought against Bilek in his last was his coming out party. I mean, Bilek's a good fighter, but I thought if Perez won that, he probably would get a contender series or a short notice shot. Like, was on a really good run, beat really good guys. I love these guys like you brought up that kind of learn or in LFA for a long time. Usually they're fighting good guys on the upcoming. And Bilek just like did a really good job stuffing takedowns. Like Pierce is a really, really good wrestler. Like Taiwan's game is trying to grapple. Like Pierce historically is really difficult to grapple. Like I feel like people who've been able to beat him was like not that he has no striking, but like sprawl and brawl him. You know what I mean? Bilek really made him work for the takedowns, kept getting up, was able to land damage. But Pierce definitely is super serviceable on the feet. I think he's pretty complete. I do understand why the line is the way it is. And then, like you said, Taiwan, there's like no tape on him. He seems like he needs a submission, like front choke, rear naked choke, something along that lines. And I don't like his striking from the minimal tape. I think Pires chews him up at range. I think Pires could stay safe grappling him. I don't really see how Pires loses. So I think Vinny Pires, and I do think we'll see him in the UFC one day. I do. I think he can be really good. But yeah, so Pires.
That's not a crazy take at all. That's
Yeah,
a good take. In the co-main, we have
good fight.
125 UFC vet FSD versus Janilto Matos. FSD, he is minus 1,300. Comeback on the other side is a little less than plus 900. FSD 9-3, 1-3 in the UFC. Beat Victor Altamirano by split. And then his 3 losses, like Murderers Row, Manel Kopp, Andre Lima, Loney Kavanaugh. Lost to each by decision, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't get finished by one of them. Won all 3 ways. He has had a quick sub since his last UFC fight, like a minute in, just snatched one up. Solid everywhere. Just really tough opponents. Like me and you bet FSD like a couple times during his UFC run. Like
I bet it was tough, man.
yeah,
Like
man.
a
Like
week's notice, and it was competitive.
we always like a FSD fight. Like
Yeah.
he's had competitive rounds against all those guys I just mentioned.
Mhm.
So like maybe not good enough to like beat the best in the world, but good enough to hang with the best in the world. 100%. Just had a really rough go in the UFC. Like kind of like I think this he could be the 125-pound Mason Jones. He's gonna get kicked out. He's gonna spend some time, but come back and be a freak. Like I think he's
Yeah.
great. Fighting a guy Jonathan Matos who is 14-8, 0-1 in LFA. Fought to and lost against like super questionable low level competition. Like one fight's ineligible because his previous opponent like had never even like put on boxing glove or any he doesn't even know what he's doing. He is a finisher mostly by sub. Loses all 3 ways but gets finished. Like I just think this is a clear layup. FSD is on the great comeback. They will speak about this for centuries. And when they do, they will talk about the fall of the great Janil Tomatos. FSD takes it. I think he finished it. He gets it any way he wants in round 1. I'm not going to bet it, but I'm going to enjoy it. What do you think?
Yeah. it's hard to pick against Dos Santos with like his pedigree. Like, another shoot to box guy has that shoot to box style. Very well rounded. Good submissions. The only thing I would say is question about his game is, but and this is at the highest level, is his takedown defense. But he does have a great get up game. Took a round off Lonio Kavanaugh, which has aged unbelievably, as everyone knows. Kavanaugh just beat up Moreno not too long ago. I mean, where's Andre Lima been? I think Andre Lima is the top eight guy. Really good fighter, has a good future. And then obviously Manel Cop, where he fought really close on like what he was only a week or two notice. And yeah, split against Altamirano. He does fight close at times, but I mean he's still got the win. I think he's very, like I said before, very well rounded, super young, right? Like he'll definitely be back in the UFC. Um, and again, the only knock would be he can be grappled, but again, that's against really good guys. Matos is just like you said, has fights flagged, hasn't fought the greatest level of competition, is definitely has a ton of early finishes, a ton of early subs. I looked at the Gustavo Lopez fight. The grappling exchanges, he looked good, but again, like, is Gustavo Lopez the level of Dos Santos? Like, no, not even close. And then he also, like you said, has a ton of losses early, like early in the round to people who aren't great, like losing a decision to 11-9 guy not too long ago, also like 2 years ago. So yeah, I think Dos Santos is fine here. I think he wins however he wants. He probably gets him out of there at some point, but I agree.
On the same page there, main event, we got Richard Martins versus Vanderlei Gonçalves. This is at 170. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a good fight. This is one of the better fights on an LFA. I think it has potential just because of the way they match up. Like Martins, like murderous, good puncher, fought pretty good guys. His two losses, I believe, are to Manuel Souza, right? I mean, who's unbelievable. I think we just saw that against Oki, really good fighter. And then he also lost to Donchenko in the Ultimate Fighter House in a weird fight. I don't think Donchenko's bad, but I don't think he's great. I think he's very limited, just like a striker who goes forward. And like I thought that would be a pretty good matchup for Martins with him being a precise striker, good power, decent enough grappling. I thought he could grapple Donchenko. It just seemed like he couldn't get going. Like he can be low volume at times, if he can't find the kill shot, which you don't love. But again, those are two solid. I mean, Manuel Souza is really good, probably a future ranked contender. Donchenko's solid, young, good power. But I love his low kicks, great body punches, good hooks to the body, good power. Solid win over something junior a couple fights ago. Let me see. I could think. Yeah, 6-0 guy. I forget his first name, but 6-0 guy a couple years ago. Just did more on the feet. Good striker. I don't know. I think this guy's really good. I think he'll be another one you'll see in the UFC. And then what's his name on the other side? How do you say his name? Vander? Is it Vanderlei?
Sure.
Yeah, Vandy. On the other side is good too, man. I wasn't super familiar with him, but I watched some tape. 100% finish rate, pretty solid power on the feet. I don't believe he's been subbed once back in 2023 against Anderson Nascimento, who's actually a pretty good grappler. That was in Jungle. So you don't hold that against him. And then his another loss before that was by split. And man, he just fights close, like really banger. I love these guys at a Jungle fight also. Usually some pretty good guys come out of there. A ton of Brazilian UFC talent comes out of there. And yeah, I mean, I think I pick Martins, but I think it's a pretty volatile fight just because of the way they match up. Especially Vandy on his side, like finisher, will look for submissions, has good power, never been knocked out. So I don't know. I think it depends what version of Martins shows up. I will go ahead and pick Martins. I just think he's a little bit more polished and has a little bit more upside. But I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. What do you think?
So if I'm not mistaken, Vanderlei's like plus 250, right?
Plus 215 now. Yeah.
So when I looked at this, like these are two guys who are really exciting. I would break it down as follows. I think Martins, I give the edge to everywhere but standing. I think I give Martins the edge. Like on the ground, I think he's got a better wrestling game, better ground game. But on the feet, this feels like a pop up, and I think I'm sorry, a toss up, and I feel like I give the danger edge towards Gonçalves there. Like I think he's a little more aggressive, kind of like murderous pressure on the feet, like just chaotic. Can slow down a little bit, but like really like powerful and presents constant danger. On the feet, this feels like a toss up, and I don't know if I can trust Martins to play the game that avoids this on the feet for 3 rounds. So This is another one of those fights where, like, I'm making a prediction like Crescendo. I'm not going to bet it, so I'm not putting my money where my mouth is. With Freitas, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. This one, I'm not. But I'm going to go with Gonçalves, the underdog here. I just think if you're giving me over plus 200 on a fighter who I think may even have a slight edge, or at worst, it's a toss up on the feet. Fight start on the feet. I don't think I can trust Martins to really get it to the ground. Gonçalves isn't super easy to get down, so I'm going to have to lean Gonçalves. As mentioned, not betting. But I'm gonna have to lean Gonçalves here. So two disagreements between us on 7 fights. That's a higher ratio than normal.
Yes. Yeah. What do you think about over unders pick'ems to 1.5? I think they're both durable. I mean, a KO wouldn't shock me just the way Vandy fights, but like I think they're both pretty durable.
I probably wouldn't take anything. I wouldn't take the over. I
Yeah.
wouldn't take anything there,
I
probably.
think if it's an early KO, the dog cashes though. Like if it's like a sub 2 minutes, I think he catches him early. But I don't know. It's a good fight. I'm looking forward to it.
I would say that this card is pretty one dimensional and fairly simple. I mean, if we want to quickly do a zoomed out bird's eye view, the only bet I'm highlighting, as I'm sure you are too, is Fright Toss. That's gonna be my only action here. I got
Yeah.
nothing else to take. Anything else you have interest in, or is that it for you as well?
Yeah, I mean, if I got to see what the what's the under in the Pires fight. Yeah, it's 1.5 also, so I probably would stay away. But yeah, I don't know. I think free toss as a straight bet's good. Other than that, it's so chalky. I don't mind Pires in like a lay with UFC or some PFL bet if you like it. But I mean, again, it's minus 700. But I think it's a great matchup for him, and I think he's really good.
Yep,
But yeah.
agreed. Agreed. Like the underdogs, Gonçalves. I like Crescendo, but love Freitas. That's the move for me. 100%.
Mhm.
100%. Well, anything else?
No, no, that's it. That's it. I'm happy to be back. Happy to be back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's been a little bit of a hiatus, everybody. Appreciate you bearing with us, but we are back for once a week. If you're still here, good luck betting. Good luck choosing. May the luck be with you here. I think Freitas is going to take us to the promised land. Amen. All right, buddy. Catch you next week.